with you too. And my name is Pallavi Dhingra, and I'm an English trainer by profession. And I have been teaching online from last 10 years. And I really love to teach. And I really feel so happy when somebody improves through my teaching. About my educational qualification, I'm postgraduate as well as I am TFL TESOL certified trainer.
Okay,
So this is all about me.
that's great. Wonderful to know about you. And also, it's a challenge being a trainer and a learner, both in one,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I would also like to know a bit about you.
right. So, as you know, I'm Renee Rosemary. I've given a lot of introduction, I think, so through my videos. And I have also been a language trainer for quite some time, for almost 6 to 7 years. I began my career as an English professor, and then slowly started working with schools. And recently, I finished my CELTA, Cambridge University. And yes, I've been a trainer. And as you said, this is one of the aspects that keep me going, that is connecting with people. Connecting with people also has helped me to write books, to speak about different topics, not just language, but also something about mental health and even the language aspects that's connected with the mind, connecting the mind and rewiring the brain and such kind of things. Yes. Yeah.
That's really good to hear.
Right.
So,
Okay.
what do you do these days?
Yes. So I am into language training, taking videos on my channel. That actually happens randomly. I used to be consistent, but I should admit that I've not been able to upload as many videos as possible for my plans. Yeah, so
Okay.
these are the things that I'm doing consistently. But otherwise, I'm into painting, journaling these days. I think journal is also a kind of therapy.
Yeah.
Recording I thought it was just diary writing, but journaling really helps me. It helps me to reflect on my day, also put in some art and bit of language and everything together. Yes, so these are some of the things that I've been doing these days.
Okay. Really good to hear about you.
Right. Okay, so Pallavi, see, when you look at this journey of learning English, of course, we deal English as a second language. And
Yeah.
you must have also come across learners saying, I get stuck with thoughts. I'm not able to speak. So when learners tell me, I tell them, you are an adult, you've lived for so many years, it's not the case that you don't have any thoughts in your mind. So what are your observations? Why do people get stuck?
Yeah.
You can think of all the possible reasons from the perspective of an advanced learner, even a trainer, and also a beginner.
Okay. See, a very good question that comes across, and I appreciate the way you even put in your thoughts for it. Adding one to it, generally, what happen? People get stuck. It is not about they do not know the language. They know the
Mm,
language. Like if I talk about the trainer, he's already good in the language. So what happens? Sometimes it is we lose the connection of our thoughts, just as if you mentioned you are also into mental health. I also do believe in that, because if our mind is not in the senses, so we cannot adapt anything in our life. So similarly, the reason people stuck, it is just that the reason being they start believing, and suddenly they give this thought to their mind that the other person is good than us. So
mm,
this is something it happened when we find the person in front of us better than us. Second reason, it is people get lost due to, sometimes due to concentration also. It happens like I am speaking something, then suddenly my concentration get lost about, I'm thinking anything about my day, and I got stuck. Then I say, oh, what I was speaking. So it happens. This is also a very common reason. And
okay.
another reason, like from the beginner point of view, it could be they do not know what to speak up. They have the thoughts in their mind, but they do not know what to speak up at that time. They are not getting proper words for it. They are not getting the vocabulary required,
Yeah.
and they are not able to frame sentences. And then it brings down their confidence. So, what to do at that time when these situation occurs up? Because what happened? A learner. who is at the beginner level. Most of the time, he is thinking in his mother language and he's
Hmm.
expecting that English should come best out of the mouth. So it can't happen. So a learner should first start thinking in English, making it as a habit over a period of 3 to 4 months, and then English will come best out of the mouth.
Right.
Because we are thinking in mother language, like in Hindi is suppose my mother language. So I'm thinking in Hindi. So Hindi will come the best out of my mouth. So if I will think in English, I will always get English thoughts. And for this, nobody, we do not need a partner also. Like many people, they have this complaint. We do not have a partner to learn for. So to think in English, you do not need a partner. Suppose I'm doing some work, I have to get ready. So I don't think in my mother language. I always think in English, even in my mind, that I have to wear this, then I will go there. After that, I will do this, I will take this class. So have thoughts in English, then you won't get stuck. Second, if any thought is coming in the mind that I got stuck, I don't know what to speak next, then give positivity to your mind that English is just a language. It has nothing to do with your personality. And
Hmm.
apart from that, also, I just ended up a session and I even told in that session, it needs a lot of practice and efforts. It is easy to say, but hard to be done. Because the thought we try should not come, actually, is the thought that keeps on coming to us.
Right.
So, if a thought comes to our mind that, yes, I'm not able to speak English, so you should just suppress that thought and come to the positive side of it that, yes, I can speak English and I can convey my words and relax and speak up. And I believe nobody will get stuck after having this kind of positivity.
Right, right. So thanks for sharing your perspective. Again, adding to what you said, this is a question put forth by learners like, ma'am, as trainers, do you get stuck? Interestingly, even fluent speakers, not just trainers, fluent speakers get stuck. And today, English is a language for all, for
Yeah.
everyone, irrespective of the profession, and they expect so much from a trainer. So fluent speakers get stuck when they try communicating about complicated, complex thoughts because you need time to process. You need time to use the best words, the best sentences in such a way that the listener is able to understand. So that's one
Yeah.
thing. That's the case when fluent speakers get stuck, but still, because of their practice and because of the skill, they'll be able to overcome that obstacle, the impediment easily. But when it comes to the
Yeah.
beginners, the other learners who are not very confident, as you rightly said, they may have these thoughts lingering in their mind. It'll lurk and it
Yeah.
can pull down the confidence also. And today it's a trend for people to translate from the Hindi language or the
Yes.
regional languages. I mean, you have a lot of content created in such a way that they ask you to listen to these content where you have the the phrases, the words in the native language and then
Yeah.
in English. Why do they
Yes.
do
Right.
that? So that you understand. So for reference, you can use it so that you understand. Suppose you're not able to understand a particular word in English, you can do this with the native language. But when it comes to thought, try thinking in English. And as beginners, they ask me, I don't know English, then how do I think? I mean, some words, the basic words, use those words, just think, have those thoughts, visualize, and then put those thoughts in the best possible way. See, our brain is
Yeah.
like a magnet. I think we all always underestimate our brain. Whenever we listen to English content, it picks up words. But as we speak, even now when I'm speaking, words come to my mind. I may have a lot of words in my mind being a language lover, but my mind will, pick the word that is of a timely help that
Yeah.
really pops in my mind, and that's something that I can use at that particular moment. I may have other words also. I may feel later I could have used this word, that phrase, but still, what is available at that time? What is apt for that particular sentence? Because it's not just that you have the word in your mind, but you should be able to process and it should fit the sentence. And then ultimately, why do we use the language to communicate thoughts? So sometimes
Yeah.
people just use a lot of words. They are quite, the word surge, it floods their sentences, but people may not understand what they're trying to convey. So that's also there. So bit of vocabulary, good sentence formation, and more of established thoughts is something that we have to really work on. And as you said, fluency, flow comes with practice. It's not an easy
True.
task. But when you have the right methods, it's quite easy. It's not so difficult, and
Yeah,
people have been
that's
doing it.
right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
I always say right guidance really matters a lot.
right. Okay. So, how did you begin learning the language? Can you share how did you get fascinated? Of course, you would have started loving the language before it became a passion. Can you just tell a bit
Yeah.
about the beginning?
Yeah, see, I tell you, it was never planned that I will be teaching English, and it all just happened. Like I can say, it's my destiny. So I'm like convent educated, so I never faced like English as a trouble for me. And after my grade 12, I always have this desire. Yes, I should get the degree abroad, and I should go to Australia, especially to go for my higher studies. But my mother she never wants to send me because I was a girl child. And she always said, wherever you want to go, you later in your life, not now, you study with me. So then, like, I have done all the efforts that I should go abroad. I even appear for IELTS, and then my visa processing and everything was going on. And the center where I took my IELTS classes, I started teaching to the people over there. In the meantime, my visa processing was going on just for like time pass or to be in association with it. That was the main reason, not I would say time pass. So I can keep on going and I come to know what is my visa processing going on. So then from there, I used to take speaking sessions from IELTS part, and I used to take around 70 to 80 students speaking over there. And from there, I start liking the language. And at the end, most of the people whom I have taught, they went abroad, but I've never been to it. My
Okay.
mother didn't send me even after doing all the stuff. And from there, I started teaching IELTS. Like my students, they go abroad and then they started referring to their friends or so. So from there, it started, and then it keeps on going, adding on to English language, then grammar, and something to speech therapy, improving accent. Nowadays, I also work as a life coach. So a lot of things keep on adding to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now I love to teach.
That's great. So language is definitely connected to life. I always tell my learners and people around, it's got a lot to do with the mind and psychology. It's there everywhere. You cannot keep it isolated. It will come in, it
Yeah.
peeps in. And when you mentioned about the IELTS, people generally think IELTS is all about speaking with good vocabulary and good sentences, but they give a lot of importance to natural flow of speech. And
Yes, right.
of course, the examiners also look at the way you take pause. Recently, I came across an article that says about the power of communicating with pauses, and all done by native speakers. You need to take pause, allow yourself to process your thoughts. I think many people who learn the English language still think that it's not right to take pauses until and unless it becomes a pattern of error. Like we as trainers correct the learners with patterns of errors. It's not that we
Yeah.
correct them with each and every sentence. R is not there, is not there. No, it's not like that. You look at the pattern. That's how it helps the
Yes.
learners. But taking pause, processing your thoughts will make you sound very steady. That's something that IELTS also reiterates on, and the natural flow of conversation. So yes, that's very important. And that is why people find it difficult to communicate their thoughts, because I think as Indians and as people from the continent of Asia, we all are good at learning phrases and idioms. And a lot of
Yeah.
sentences in the English language, we are good in producing essays. But when it comes to spontaneity, we don't take much time to process our thoughts. But the native speakers, I'm not just speaking about the English speaking countries, but people from the other parts of the country, of course, I understand they have the environment, but they process the thoughts, especially people who are good speakers, because there also they have
Yeah.
got the levels whenever you take the certification, proficiency tests, and all that. So, this is what I heard from them. They say, yes, we have our levels, we have. This is our native tongue, but still, just like how you guys have levels in your native tongue, just like that, we also have levels. So, yes, natural flow of conversation is something that adds to the way you communicate, right? So,
You
thanks for
said
speaking.
it.